Of course, this has been another difficult year for faith in the context of COVID. And the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, has weighed in on the vaccine debate, saying that the COVID vaccine is a moral duty, having that vaccine. So do you think the Church should get political? Just this week, a pastor, William Pearson-Gee, vowed not to play by the rules if the government imposed restrictions on the Church. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
Before we go on, I just wanted to say I spent 2 days last week batting off emails about whether we should close the church, cancel the services and all the rest of it. And I just wanted to speak to you from my heart. We are not a cinema. We are not the O2 arena. We are not a football match. We're not going to play by those rules. We are a family of brothers and sisters in Christ who come together on a Sunday to worship the living Jesus Christ. Not a football match, not a film, nothing like that. I am not going to close our services until I am ordered by law to do so, and even if that happens, it will be screaming and kicking. Because we're not an entertainment venue. We are here to worship the God who is sovereign over all of this mess, over all the ineptitude that the government can throw at us. And it is all the more important that we gather together as brothers and sisters in Christ to worship God.
Quite a powerful message there. What do you make of that?
Yes, I know Will. He's an internet friend of mine. I think the problem. So Will is right, and the Archbishop of Canterbury is really sadly mistaken. I'm choosing my adjectives carefully. The fact is, the government doesn't understand Christianity. The two major commandments are: you love God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, and then you love your neighbour as yourself. But you always put God first. Now, and worshipping God, loving God, praising God is the most important thing we do as Christians. And when you discover that the relationship with Him, it's the thing you want to do most. Now, in terms of our neighbours, if any of our neighbours are ill or vulnerable or anxious or afraid, then it's their responsibility to shield themselves, and they ought to do that. But everybody else ought to be on their knees in front of God. And the trouble is, the government treats Christianity like it's a kind of piece of moral icing, which it smears upon the political programme. But if they understood their history, they would know that from St. Thomas of Becket onwards and before, Christians, when they're forced to choose between their allegiance to God and their allegiance to the state, always choose their allegiance to God. And that's what Will was talking about.